Now let's turn our attention to Nigeria, where from corruption allegations to drug trafficking and misappropriation of funds, these war of words seem unending for the representatives of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress. Reacting to claims that the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar sold off government properties and diverted the proceeds, the former vice president has accused the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu of acquiring government properties across the country if he becomes president.
Now, in a statement released on Sunday by Special Assistant in Public Communication Frank Shuaibu, he revealed that the APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu has become very wealthy by taking over critical government properties. For over some time now, there have been burning questions as to the source of Tinubu's wealth and ties to drug-related activities. The presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State from 1999 to 2007. His wife, Oluremi Tinubu, is currently senator representing a Lagos Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly. Now, join us to discuss all of this. We have Igweh Okah Immaculate, is a councillor of the People's Democratic Party at Okah South local government area in Delta State. Joins us live from Igweh. We also have Oladotun Mabinuori as a Director, Public Relations and Interference. A warm welcome to you, gentlemen, and of the PDP New Generation, if I may add. Yes, warm welcome to you, gentlemen, and thanks for joining us. So I'd like to start with you, Oladotun. Now, Tinubu brags on governing Lagos and building a modern city, increasing its internally generated revenue from 600 million to 5 billion a month, infrastructural renewal in Lagos, etc. Do you think he should get credit for all of the great things that have happened in Lagos since 1999? And how would you describe his tenure as Lagos State Governor?
Let me say it's just the way we have lowered the bar of governance in Nigeria. You will see a case where a governor will build a road and the world go down and be clapping for him. Why did you elect the governor in the first instance? What was his job? What are the duties and responsibilities of a governor if not to provide social amenities? And it baffles me when they say Lagos was built by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I was privileged to be born in Lagos State, and even if I was born in the night, I was not born last night. So to an extent, I know what Lagos State was before the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 1999 to 2007. So we have the basic infrastructure, as we say, as we have. Fine, he had to it, which is not unexpected. That's what he was elected to do. And if you also look at the administration the last 24 years in Lagos State, you realize that even the administration of Bambode and Fashola and the like, they did far better than administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So the so-called 25...
No, but they say, sorry to interrupt you, they say he laid the foundation for Bambode and Fashola to build on. That is the master architect.
People have been, on several occasions, people have been challenged to bring out the blueprint, the document, the 25-year document they are talking about. Let us see. We are talking about the economic capital of Nigeria. We are talking about the former colonial administration of Nigeria. Now, Lagos State has been in existence far before even Nigeria became Nigeria, before we got our independence. So now let me claim that one person built it. For me, it's just we asking for too much, because it's what he was a governor. We elected him to be a governor in 1999, but that was his duty. Whatever he has done, whatever he has built, are things that he didn't use his personal money to build it. He uses the state resources to build Lagos State that we're all talking about. And we're saying we built it. That word build looks somehow. Check Lagos State between 1999 and 2007. It's nothing compared to what we have between 2015 and 2019 when nobody was there. It's nothing compared to what we have between 2007 and 2015 when Fashola was there. So when you're saying he built this, he built that, or he brought people, fine, he might have one way or the other seen to the emergence of Bambode and Fashola. But in terms of he claim to their glory, for me, it's not fair on those gentlemen. And we are talking about the blueprint. Where's the blueprint? Let us see. Let us all read it. Where is the 25-year plan that they are talking about? 25-year plan cannot be in the air, and nobody has ever seen it. For me, it's like ripping where you did not sow.
Okay, Oladotun, well, you would agree that there was some form of progress within the period where he was the governor of Lagos State. But I would like to bring in Nelson Ekunjimi right now as a public affairs analyst. And right now we saw different accusations. And this one is coming from Atiku spokesman Frank Shaibu. And he stated that Lagos State, where Tinubu has allegedly been ruling directly and indirectly since 1999, has become his fiefdom and property. These allegations, this is not the first time it's coming from Frank Shaibu. What do you make of this statement? The fact that Tinubu has been accused of using Lagos State, taking the properties of Lagos State and acquiring it as his own personal wealth.
Are you talking to me now?
Yes, Nelson.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, you know, we are in a political season where people raise all sorts of dust. And we are quite aware that Tinubu was the governor between 1999 and 2007. And within that period, he had immunity from prosecution according to the law. But since he has left office, you want to ask, what role have these people coming up with this allegation now that the man is contesting for office? Where have they been, or what have they done to concretize their allegations? It is not enough for somebody to say somebody is a thief, this or that. You must be able to substantiate. And, you know, there are relevant anti-corruption agencies established by states that are not controlled by Tinubu. So I think I would throw back the question to Frank Tribe that he should please avail the anti-corruption agency this allegation with a petition and substantiate it with fact and see whether they will do their work or not, because they have a constitutional responsibility, you know, to investigate and, you know, do the needful with regard to cases of an abuse of public trust. So for him to say somebody is holding on to state property without, you know, doing the needful, I think it is uncharitable. It is mere political as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you, Nelson. I'd like to bring Honourable Immaculate from Igweh into the conversation. The APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in an interview with an international media organization, said he inherited and invested in real estate as the source of his wealth. Does that not answer the lingering question as to where he got money from? And are you satisfied with that response?
I don't want to start pushing around the bush. Let us just check the character of the APC presidential candidate. It's a grandpa who has always missing up words and making mistakes over time. And we have the Nigerians saying dramas at campaign rallies where he mix up figures, he almost forget the name of his children. So we are not surprised, and we are not going to misword with him and his followers, saying that Atiku Abubakar sold properties while he was vice president of Nigeria. So that shows how he has mistakes identity. Last week, he said Atiku Abubakar was the Senate president. That shows you don't know what he's saying. A grandpa who is old is supposed to go home and retire and relax. He's on the TV disgracing his children. And when he makes such accusations, we know it's also a mistake. It has been also likely to be a mistaken identity. Maybe he has somebody he's going to refer to, he says Atiku Abubakar. But moving forward, we have, it's on the public that Bola Tinubu, the wife is a senator, the daughter is a woman leader, a market woman leader, the sister-in-law is a commissioner, the son enjoys the adverts in Lagos State. Of course, the grandson, Omo, is also a champion and a leader of the Agberus in Lagos State. So it shows, according to Shaibu, it shows how much Ahmed Tinubu has captured Lagos. And I want to tell you that when he becomes president of Nigeria, God forbid, he is going to, by extension, also capture Nigeria and make Nigeria his private company.
So you do not believe, Immaculate, so you do not believe that the source of his wealth from real estate is a viable reason for this wealth that Tinubu has, because you're linking it now to his family members. Now, aside that, he answered the question and said that the reason why he is wealthy is that he has invested in real estate. I know I'm talking about his campaigns. We're not going there as of now, because we've also seen all the presidential campaign candidates, rather, who have made mistakes during campaigns. But looking at the source of his wealth right now, do you believe that his investment in real estate has made him...
This person is a character I have said that when he returns from abroad, he has nothing. So that shows that all the wealth he made it from the politics and as governor of Lagos State. I recall also that the former yard behind Lagos State Secretariat, according to Shaibu, he told you also that Bola Tinubu have converted it. Today is now known the Keja city man. So that shows you how we have taken by brute force, subjugated Lagos, making his property, sell all properties, and assuming the Lagos State is a family business. So if it is someone that is going to sell Nigeria, it's supposed to be Ahmed Bola Tinubu, not Atiku Abubakar.
Okay, I'd like to bring in Oladotun into all of this now. There have also been allegations by your party, also the PDP, that the pension laws for former governors in Lagos guarantees lifetime benefits for Tinubu and his family. Now, we also have lifetime benefits, pension laws for other state governors. So what exactly is the major grievances against this pension law when some state houses of assembly have enacted laws granting life pension for their governors? Are we just singling out Bola Ahmed Tinubu because he's a presidential candidate?
Thank you for the question. The humongous life pension for governors started with Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Lagos State. And if anybody is to even talk about Atiku Abubakar selling assets, I guess it shouldn't have been coming from the APC presidential candidate, because we don't have the moral justification to even go that route. We all know where his television station is built today. We know what was there before. That's where Lagos State, where the last protect, where it was situated before now. And that is where he has his private establishment right now. And also other public assets that we like that. So in terms of monument, if you check his pension benefit as ex-governor of Lagos State, you will also realize that even other governors that we have in Nigeria are actually following the roadmap. The roadmap that he has laid. We all know that Lagos State is the center of attraction, is center of excellence, the commercial capital of Nigeria. Whatever happens in Lagos, other states definitely will actually want to follow suit, because he works in Lagos. Don't look at, aside governance, look at companies. When companies want to come to Nigeria, they first test run their market in Lagos State, because that's where we have about 10% of Nigeria population. Whoever works in Lagos usually work in another economy, another state of Nigeria. So if you have done that humongous severance package for himself, of course, other governors will look into it. And if you also look at it in terms of someone being in bringing his family into business, in the last 16 years that 2007 that has left governance, nobody has ever had his wife or his son or his daughter or anybody in position of authority. But come to Lagos State, is that his son or his nephew or even his nephew is a governor in Osun State. So if you look at all this, you realize that who has actually used state resources for his personal use. So he's same person now coming to now accuse Atiku Abubakar for selling assets for his personal gain. Then I think something is wrong somewhere. That's also maybe portrays the fact that he has lost touch with reality. Because if you look at it in terms of as so-called assets that they are talking about, who was the head of Bureau of Public Enterprises that time? It was the current governor of Kaduna State, who was C0rrruption. It was in effect that time when he was the chairman of the Bureau of Public Enterprises. And on a national TV, he also attests to the fact that Atiku Abubakar did not at any time interfere or come into the sale of asset or purchase of asset or anything. So how can you now come all of a sudden with no evidence to back it up to say Atiku Abubakar will sell all his assets to his personal for his personal? Just name one asset that has been sold for his personal gain. We all know Atiku Abubakar to be a businessman. He's into different business, very viable businesses, and he's also an employer of labor. So somebody saying he made his money from real estate. Where are the estate? Name the estate if they are not government properties. We all know what happened at Lagos Lekki Express Road. What should have been government properties were converted to personal individuals. So we have said we have made money from real estate. Then where are the estate? Tell us where they are. Let us verify if they are not government-owned property that are converted to private use. So what somebody is to abuse someone or to even say this about person, that person should come. Say who comes security should come with clean hands. So if your hands are not clean, then why will you come to now be accusing someone that has not been at any time been found guilty of diverting national assets or state assets for his personal use, whereas the evidence are laid all over the places where you have converted state-owned assets to your property.
Okay, thank you, Oladotun. I would like to bring in Nelson Ekunjimi here. You're a neutral party in this. You're not a card-carrying member of APC or the PDP. Now, based on indicting revelations and evidence of funds misappropriation against the PDP candidate, Atiku Abubakar, who were released by a whistleblower, Mr. Michael Achimugu. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja is deferred for the proceedings on this matter till March the 4th. So we've seen two major presidential candidates with serious allegations of corruption and questionable characters. Allegations, important to note. The APC presidential candidate did forfeit $400,000+ to the United States authorities that they thought were proceeds of drug trafficking. So, and we have an election coming up. Looking at Nigeria, is it not better for Nigerians to do away with candidates that have these damning allegations on their heads and look for less controversial candidates to vote for?
Well, thank you very much. I can see that you cannot hide your bias. And it's unfortunate that even as a journalist, you have already taken an...
No, these are legitimate questions that are out there in public.
Just hold on, don't be aggrieved.
No, I'm not aggrieved. I'm responding. You made an allegation against me, and I have every right to respond.
Somebody with an allegation that has not been proven. We are talking about an Atiku Abubakar. Somebody is already in court with regard to that. The issue about Tinubu, the allegation that you have regurgitated, this allegation came up in 1999 under former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and the American embassy issued a statement in reference to the query by the Attorney General or maybe the Inspector General of Police that this man does not have any criminal indictment in the United States of America. The American government has come out clearly. The forfeiture, we are all privy to what happened with the tax forfeiture. Somebody was being investigated, and that person made payments into several accounts. And one of those beneficiaries of the account was Tinubu. And when he was confronted with the fact that Mr. X paid XY amount of money to your account, he said yes, because the man is owing me. And he was made to recognize that, look, the money that the man paid to you is a money being investigated with regards to a crime. And because he insisted on, no, I won't return the money, they now told him, Mr. Man, the money in your account, you have paid taxes on them. This one, there's no tax on it. So either you release the money to us, or we charge you for tax evasion. And that was how the money, the man said, between the devil and the deep blue sea, there was no way he could escape, the long arm of the law. With regard to the person that sent the money to the... Don't forget, that money was... The man didn't pay into only Ashwaji's account. There were several accounts that were paid to, of which every person that was involved, whether he borrowed the money from you, you had to refund the money because the man was under investigation and he was facing prosecution. So you have come here and say somebody who has been alleged and there has been no proof, which because of that, Nigerians should do away. We are not the one that will decide for Nigerians now. Nigerians are very enlightened. Nigerians are sophisticated. They know what they want. I listened to the other two speakers talking about Atiku Abubakar. The old testimonial on Atiku Abubakar can be gotten from his former boss, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, and even the whistleblower made it very clear that Atiku Abubakar and former President Olusegun Obasanjo were cohorts in the special purpose vehicle for corruption, for which a court in Nigeria convicted the former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dariye. So you are telling me and insulting the sensitivities of Nigeria, you want to railroad us to toe your line because somebody has made an allegation against a person that has not been proven, that even when you are
I think that was why
Mr. Nelson.
we have it on allegations. They are still allegations, but for that nobody has said if he's guilty or if he's innocent, and that's why the key word was put there as allegations there. And we're not saying putting off any candidate. We're looking for the best candidate in Nigeria. And I'm going to go to the candidate, to Oladotun now, for a final take on the conversation right here. Now, do you see all these petitions affecting the popularity and integrity of Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Of course, it's you know, it's just funny when as I was listening to the other guy, Mr. Nelson, I guess, defending Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I guess it's important as a public analyst. You are here to speak as a public analyst, so I wasn't expecting you to be partisan. If you check my own title, I'm a director of public relations, so I was expected to defend my principle. So as a neutral person being brought here, it's actually an unprofessional view to be getting angry for using the word allegation. And I guess there is a difference between allegation and then accusation. You didn't accuse him of stealing. They just said he was alleged of this amount of money. And this is information that is in the public domain. So as a public analyst, I guess you need to do a lot in terms of your research and finding because of public discussion of this nature. So for me, allegations ahead of, following him, they are enough for anybody, for any right thinking in Nigeria to say this is enough for us to discard this kind of candidate. And the public analyst said that the person of Obasanjo, what he wrote about Atiku and what have you, maybe you need to leave social media course and go ahead to read the book, My Watch, volume 1 to 3, and see. There's this information in the public news that they said Atiku, about the money, Obasanjo said that the money that Atiku stole is enough to feed 400 million people for 300 years and what have you. If you go by a World Bank standard, with the poverty line is $2 a day, which is 1.99 actually. $2 a day as the minimum for anybody to feed. So multiply $2 a day with 400 million people, then for 300 years, you get something around $1.76 trillion. I mean, very crazy amount of money. So if you look at it, how can one individual be richer than America as it is? How can one individual be richer than China? So this is just nothing but an hyperbole.
Sorry, Doctor, I'm going to have to cut you short there. We've fast run out of time. I'd like to say thank you to you gentlemen for being part of today's program. Look forward to having you some other time.
Thank you.